Good morning. Today's video, we will be working on fendente cuts from the left, specifically from lefty donna, la finestra, as they're otherwise known as reverso cuts. First of all, let's review what a fendente is. So we're going to start on the right with the left foot forward. In the previous video, we went from non-refused, so square, cutting a fendente, as well as refused, so volta stabilite back from posta vita position, or I think of this as a posta vita position because you're wound up. And cutting a fendente. We also did cuts from finestra and refused from finestra. Now we're going to build on those videos and do the same on the other side. Then we're going to add several repetitions so that you can actually follow along for 20 to 40 minutes and just do a bunch of repetitions of the drill in order to get some exercise, be distracted from everyday issues, and hopefully polish your skills a bit. Some of the things to keep in mind. So we're going to switch to the left side, right foot forward. So we're still on the right hand. Let's do this from the donna, but we're going to have our shoulders square to start with. So from here, some things to keep in mind. Hands going forward in front of your face while your weight gets loaded onto your right foot. Then as the blade starts to descend, then we work up. We're cutting out to longa. Specifically, we're cutting out to a longa that Emma Guelph uses, which instead of being straight on is slightly to the side. So instead of straight, just a little bit to the side. Ready? We'll do this a few more times slowly. Then we'll do 20 repetitions. Then we'll move on to the next of the 4 types of cuts we're doing from this side. So we're square. We're using our stance. 1 shoulder's width between the feet, head over shoulders over hips, shoulder and a half width between our front foot and our back foot. Front foot pointing at our target, back foot out an angle, 45 degrees. 1. Reset. 2. And 3. We're using true time. We're coming out with our hands, our body, then our foot. And if we're doing this following George Silver, it would be hands, body, foot, feet if you're continuing on. Now let's do 20 repetitions. If I'm going too fast for you, do every other cut that I do. If I'm going too slow for you, for advanced people, go at your own pace or do twice as many as I do, whatever you want. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Well, so I forgot to mention the footwork. That's a little bit essential. As you might have noticed, I've fallen automatically into a pattern of passing with our left foot. So that's what we're going to do first. Continuing on. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Good. Word about footwork. We have a passing step for what we call entering, for striking. So reducing your distance to your target as you start your strike. These can be done straight in or to the side. It's called a traverse when you step off the line with either foot. Here the very tells us to traverse. So in other drills, we will do so. Now we're just working on the basics and repetitions. The next thing we're going to do in this sequence of drills, since we've done cuts with a passing step, is we're going to do cuts with an increasing front foot step. You'll typically see this in defenses of covers at Largo, where somebody is striking at us, coming into our territory, if you will, stepping in, and we are going to increase off the line. So my right foot is going to take a little step off the side as I strike out to cover their incoming reverso fendente here. So you'll see my right foot just steps in. So in this scenario, I'm square. I'm not refused. I haven't done a volta stabile, but my weight shifts onto the back foot in order to allow the front foot to come out. Now we're going to do 3 of these slowly, and then 20 at a faster speed. Nice and slow. 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to do 20. Ready? Front foot increasing to the right as we do this cut. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Good. Take a quick break. Pull your shoulders. Grab a drink of water. If you're new to the art or you haven't picked up a sword in a while, you will have sore shoulders. You'll feel the lactic acid buildup. I'll start to feel the burn a bit. Take a break as needed. As always, if it hurts, stop. And if the hurt goes away, so it's just temporary muscle soreness or lactic acid buildup or whatever, then you can continue, but just pay attention. Don't do too much. Don't injure yourself. Nice and slow, nice and steady. As you get used to it, then you can speed up, as long as you're not compromising technique. Next, we're going to do these cuts refused. So what do I mean by refused? Here we have our shoulders in line. We are directly facing our opponent with the largest cross section. I refer to this as square or non-refused. If we take a volta stabile, if we step with a volta stabile, which means keeping our feet in place and going up on the balls of our feet and rotating our body such that our feet are, both our feet, our body is aligned 135 degrees off to the side, so 45 degrees backwards, if you will. With our front foot now pointing at a target that's over there somewhere, and our back foot over at a 45 degree to that line, and looking over our right shoulder. This is refused. It's used as a provocation. It's used when we're yielding. There are plenty of times where we use a volta stabile. Or it also increases the distance from your opponent momentarily as you yield and then come back. We're going to start, since we've been doing these strikes from Didana, we're going to start with refused, Didana, and we're going to strike a reverso fendente with a passing left foot step. because we started with the passing step in the first one. So very slowly as I volta stabile, and then my left foot comes forward. I've got my body got my hand coming out, then my body, and then as the hand comes past, then the foot comes with it. Think of it like a rubber band between your hand or the pommel and the back heel. Once your hand comes past the center line, then that rubber band gets, the imaginary rubber band gets tight and pulls your left heel, your back heel up. And you want to land with the ball of your left foot as your blade strikes your imaginary target. Going through this 3 times slowly. Find your refuse position. In this case, we're going from Udana. We get our hands going first. Our body's turning. Our hands are going in front of our face, and then the foot is landing with the blade. 2 more times. Last one. Good. If you'd like to see this done slower, just go back and watch that section slower a few more times. Go back and watch that section a few more times. Or what you can do is you can put the video for half speed for the repetition side, right? Or same thing, if you'd like to go faster, just use the little cog on the bottom right here in order to increase or decrease the speed of the repetitions. Or like I said before, you can do every other cut that I do, or you can do twice as many cuts as I do. Your call. The main thing for the repetitions is making sure that is to polish or to train these actions such that they become automatic. But we want to make sure that we only train in good body mechanics. We don't want to train in false time. We want to, where we're actually moving our foot and our body before our hand or at the same time as our hand. We want to make sure we drill in correct body mechanics that will allow us to strike without being struck, and won't allow our opponent to have easy unforced errors where they can hit our hand or hit our head. Right. Let's do 20 of these. Find your stance. Volta stabile back. Up into left bidona, volta, and with a left passing step. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Good. Roll the shoulders, grab a drink of water. Those 20 cuts were with a left passing step, like we would do on entering. For advanced students, you also know that we can use a passing step on covering, so somebody else is striking, when we want to close the stretch, to close play in order to do wrestling plays, right? Which Very tells us is particularly effective from the left side guards, because we can, well, in my opinion, He says this because as we land with our left foot forward, move the crossing, the left hand is right here. Push the elbow, move the face, and we can do our stretto descent. Regardless, moving on. Now we're going to do our refused lefty dana fendentes with an increasing right foot step. This is more commonly used for covers, for somebody else attacking you. And you'll cover with an increasing left foot step. There's a possibility of using this as a provocation, but I won't get into that today. So, find our stance here. We'll just be laid back to find a refused stance. Go to dana. Make sure you're not hitting anything around you. And we're going to come out with the front foot or the right foot increasing step. Here. Most of the power generated here is from the voltus spile alone, turning the hips, whereas in the previous one we had the turning the hips plus the step and the body weight going forward. I'll do this again a few times, slowly while you get used to it. Coming out with the right foot, 1. And there I moved in false time. Did you see that? I moved my foot first. This is why we train. Let's do that properly. Hands coming forward, body turning, front foot coming out. One more slow. Now let's do this 20 times. Ready? One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Good. Roll the shoulders. Grab a drink of water. So that was 4 sets of 20 each. On the left, from Didana, or the woman, refused, non-refused, passing with the left foot to enter, or increasing with the right foot as a counter to as a wide play counter, a largo counter, if you will. Now we're going to do the same thing, starting in Finestra, window. Roll the shoulders. If you're tired and you've had enough today, because it's 15 minutes in or so, come back another day, finish the rest of this video. If you're ready to keep going, also good. I will be here either way. Ready? Right foot forward, because we're working on the reversal, the left side. And find your stance, head over shoulders over hips, shoulders width wide, shoulder and half width long, left foot at a 45, front foot pointing at your target. Now to start with, just visualize the center of mass or point it to my image on the screen. As you get more advanced, you'll be looking at specific targets. Every time your front foot lands, it will be pointing at the specific target that your sword is going to, or your hand, or in unarmed combat, your weapon will be going to. The more specific, the easier it is to visualize where it's going and train that way. Is it going to their wrist, to their elbow, to their head, or perhaps is it going to their sword in order to beat that down to the ground? Something to think about for later. Let's find our fenestra. We're going to start unrefused or square. So our shoulders are aligned, everything's facing forward. We have our sword in our right hand, of course. In another class, I will take us through left hand drills, which is purely, this is purely for cross training or for left-handed people. That's kind of a modern 21st century thing. It's my understanding that in medieval times, everyone was right-handed, or else they were devil's spawn or whatever. Sorry, left-handed people. But going ahead, right hand, left hand, find fenestra here. And what are we going to do? We're going to start the sequence by cutting a fendente with true time and using a passing left foot step. So our hands start, our body is weighting forward onto the right foot as we're going through this. And as the blade goes in front of your face, we're going to pass with the left foot and cut a left fendente. I'm going to do that 3 more times slowly. Fenestra, weights onto the right foot, and step. You'll hear me talk about fighting behind your weapon. Think of the center of balance of your weapon, and think of trying to keep that in a line. I like to visualize a line between my face and my opponent's face, throat and their throat. Regardless, if it's here, and I rotate such that it's between us, he or she has to come through that in order to get to me. That's all I'll talk about for that for now. Front foot forward, right foot forward, fenestra. Let's do this three more times slow. The passing left foot step. Between each, gather back up into fenestra. Work on your blade alignment. Make sure that it turns at your shoulder, comes forward straight, and then after you hit, or you have a blade impact in this case, we're going to go back into fenestra. Often you may hear that called yielding. From a Guelph, we call that hands high or you die. If people do not quickly cover their head when they're in distance, they will often get a reminder that their head is open by a tap on the head. Right. Let's do 20 of these. Right foot forward, non-refused, so square. Back foot at a 45-degree angle, shoulders wide, head over shoulders over hips. On your fenestra. And 1. Recover. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. 11. 12. 13. 14. 15. 16. 17. 18. 19. 20. Good. Rest your shoulders. We have Mike Pennington coming into the group. Grab a drink of water while we wait for Mike to come in. Hello, Mike. I'm recording a session here, so feel free to follow along for this session. Then I'll stop it, and then we can chat for a few minutes about the next one before we start the next one. We've been doing Fendente Reverso cuts. So we've gone through Fendente Reverso cuts from Didana, and now we're going through from Finestra. We just did them with a passing step. Now we're going to do them with an increasing step. So the right foot's going to increase and traverse off the line. So to go through that a few times slowly, we're going to find our stance with our right foot forward. We're going to come up to Finestra. And then as we cut, we're going to come out with the front foot, and we're going to move our foot as our blade is moving forward past our face. So what we aren't going to do is this. We're not going to step with the foot and then cut. That's telegraphing the movement, that's slowing things down. What we are going to do is start the cut, and the foot comes in at the last minute, or there. The blade's coming around, and then the foot comes out to land with the blade. I'm going to do that 3 times slowly, and we are doing these as long compass cuts. So the blade's coming past our shoulder, starting to come forward in front of our face, and our foot comes out. 3 times slowly. 1, recover, 2, recover, 3, recover. Good. Shake off your shoulders and get ready for, grab a drink of water and get ready for 20 of these. Ready, and right foot forward. Find your stance. Go to Finestra. And these are going to be with the front foot doing an increasing step to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Pause. Mike, I was wondering if you'd like to point off to the side and do the next 10 to the side so that people watching can see these from directly on as well as from 90 degrees. Thank you, Mike. Ready, and 10 more. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, last one, 20. Good. Roll the shoulders, grab a quick drink of water. Then we're going to work on Reversi Fendentes from Finestra, refused with a passing step, and then Reversi Fendentes with an increasing step from refused Finestra. So the first one of those two is find your stance, find Finestra, and then volta stabile to turn your body and front foot 45 degrees back or 135 degrees off the main line. Here, so we're looking over our right shoulder. I'm going to make sure I have enough space to not hit the dresser. And we're going to start with a passing left foot step. So as our blade goes through and our body turns, and the blade goes forward is when the foot goes forward. So our volta stabile can happen at the tail end of here. So we turn as the blade comes through, we turn, and then the left foot comes forward as the blade starts going in front of your face and towards the target. That's when our back foot starts passing in, okay, in order to use true time. Let's do that slowly 3 times. Fused, here, This is weight on the back foot first, and then as we come through, the weight goes onto the front foot, and then we step. 3 times slowly. 1, 2, 3. Good. Roll the shoulders and get ready for 20 of these. And then after that, we'll have 20 more, and that'll be the end of this session. Right foot forward on your fenestra. Both to be laid back to get into a refuse position. Weight on your back foot. Well, 60% of your weight on your back foot. And let's do 20 of these with a left passing step. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Well, that was messed up. Let's do that one again, because I did not give myself enough space. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, last one, 20. Good. Roll your shoulders, grab a drink of water. You may ask why I'm doing these drills in a narrow confined space in a bedroom, and that's specifically why I'm doing some of these videos, is because I hear people say, I don't have the space in lockdown. This is 3 feet wide by, let's say, 8 feet long. And with careful use, it works. Now this is with a tall ceiling. If you have a shorter ceiling, you'll need a shorter training implement, maybe a 3-foot wooden dowel instead of a 4-foot sword, for example. Regardless, let's continue on. The drills we just did were with a passing left foot step, or were they? I forget. Mike, was that passing left foot step or increasing right foot step?
This was a passing left foot step.
Excellent. Usually I keep a little notepad to keep track. Thank you, Mike. So to finish off our sequence for today, we're going to do this drill with an increasing right foot step, which will give us a traverse. Some people call this a pop step. And we'll demonstrate this slowly, and then we will do 20 together. First of all, find your stance. Second of all, find your fenestra. Thirdly, refuse, so volts to be laid back. So 60% of your weight's in your back foot. Both of your feet are pointing backwards. One directly at a 135-degree angle, one slightly off that. And in this case, for this sequence of drills, we're going to start our cut and then volts to belay. So the weights, but we're going to keep the weight on the back foot in this case because we're going to step out with the front foot at the last minute. So that's only going to be at the tail end. Here, our body weight's on our back foot now, and our blade's going forward, and our foot comes out. As our blade is going in front of our face, that is when our right foot can step out across the line. And we're doing a left fendente, so we'll be ending up here. Specifically, in this case, I visualize this against a opposing left fendente. So somebody else has taken a left high guard. I decide to go to a left high guard. They cut a left or a reversi fendente, and I come across. This is a specific situation that I'm thinking of whenever I do these drills. Right, let's do this 3 times slow, and then 20 times at a faster speed. And that will be the end of this portion of training. Find our posta, find finestra, stabile, and 3 times slow. 1, 2, 3. Good. Now we'll do 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Ah, that one was awful. We're going to do that one again because I flubbed it. Let's go back up. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And hold. Thank you very much for joining me today. Thank you to fellow scholar Mike Pennington. We're going to finish this video and we'll start another.